TFSAs are a great wealth building tool and every Canadian should have one. This video will show you how to build a $1 million TFSA. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for the short intro. What isn't short is my 7-hour Canadian finance course. I made a course for Canadians on tax, credit, budgeting, debt, and investing. I'll also do a free, not free, it's included in the price, a 1-hour one-on-one with anyone who signs up. I'll leave a link if you're interested. What also won't be short is your journey or road to $1 million in your TFSA. I won't go through the basics of a tax-free savings account. I've done that before. I'll leave this video so you can spruce up your knowledge. But as of 2025, you can only invest $7,000 a year, but hopefully that'll continue to increase to $10,000 a year, eventually as it scales up with inflation. But look at this. You're 22, you just got your first job. I don't want to hear about you wanting vacations or new cars. Your 20s are your best years for investing due to the effects of compounding. I want to see $7,000 invested in your TFSA every year. But let me go through some numbers. I can explain. I can predict the comments complaining already, but with only $7,000 invested every year, it will take you 30 years to hit $1 million. Starting with $0, we'll be investing $7,000 at the beginning of every year. The average stock market return over the last 100 years has been 9.8%. The average return over the last 30 years has been 10.25%, which is great. But let's use a clean and even 9%. In 30 years, you'll have just over $1 million. If you start investing at 22, by 52, you'll have the option to retire early or at least go part-time if you'd like. Here's the issue. We all know inflation eats away at our money and investments. So let's see what this $1 million would be worth in 30 years. It's pretty painful, but if we assume like 2% or 2.5%, a relatively low inflation rate, our $1 million in 30 years will feel like $575,000 now, which is still pretty good. To me, the $1 million could be worst case scenario. In your 20s, you can't invest as much, so fine, let's say $7,000 max in your 20s. But then in your 30s and 40s, as you grow in your career, you start to earn more. You should be investing $10,000 if you can. I think $12,000 a year is the max I've seen people able to comfortably save and invest. And that's just from talking to people through my channel and through the Canadian finance course. When I do a one-on-one, people say everyone maxes out at around $12,000, but I get it. Living in Canada after taxes and living is expensive. If the TFSA limit grows, you can have all of it tax sheltered. However, if it doesn't, I recommend using the RSP after. My personal opinion is the TFSA is better. I could probably talk about that in another video, not this one. If you're wondering what to invest in, I made a few videos about the top ETFs. I'll leave this video about the top ETFs to buy in 2025. This won't change from what I've previously mentioned, but to keep it simple, you have one or two options, VEQT or VFV. You can also do XEQT if you'd like. VEQT, you'll see the performance here. You'll be investing in the entire world, the entire stock market, around 13,000 different stocks. So you're diversified. You don't have to pick and choose a company. VFV has better returns, which I'll show, and it is the largest 500 companies in the US. I recommend doing one or both of these in your TFSA to get the best returns. I do VFV. There's some additional factors to consider about the RSP and the TFSA. The RSP must be withdrawn or converted to a RIF, RRIF, by the age of 71. However, as of 2025 at least, the TFSA can be held indefinitely, so you're not forced to start taking out money. The RSP, I believe, you're forced to take out 4% to income, causing you to pay tax. And since you'll be earning both the OAS and CPP, it might affect your returns if you need to take out too much. But the TFSA doesn't count towards your income. It's tax-free. It won't affect your CPP or OAS or GIS as well. CPP doesn't matter, actually. It's the old age security and I think the guaranteed income supplement. And also, you won't owe any tax when you're retired, which is when you'll need it the most. If I show you where I'm at, my peak, the TFSA, I think it was November 2024, was around 548,000. I withdrew around 200,000 to buy international property. Again, maybe a topic for another video. I'm currently sitting at 348,000. But these numbers are hard to replicate, going from, let's say the max deposited was 95,000 last year and I built it to 548,000. I obviously got lucky with Nvidia, with Palantir, with Tesla, and with Apple gains. It's hard to replicate 10x or 1,000% returns. I'll likely never be able to do that again, but let's just like play a scenario. What if I were just to use the 350,000 I have now and invest the same 7,000 per year for 20 years until I retire or until I kick the bucket? I'll have $2.3 million in 20 years before inflation. But let's go even further. Let's say I leave this 350,000 invested in the market and never contribute to the TFSA again. I should have, if all goes according to plan, I'll have 1.96 million. It's actually funny. It's not that much lower than if I invested the 7,000 per year, but I'll just leave it like this. 350,000, assuming everything goes according to plan. In 20 years, I should have a solid $2 million to retire on. Just to keep it simple, you might not think $1 million will be enough in 30 years, but it's still a sizable amount for your retirement. You might also think 30 years is too long to wait, but remember, you're only allowed to invest or deposit $7,000 per year in your TFSA. So to me, there's no faster way to get there that's also safe. So that's what I'm recommending. I would pick one or two stocks, what I mentioned above. If you want, you could do dividend stocks as well. When you retire, you can convert to covered call ETFs to start. You don't have to start withdrawing from your portfolio. So if you make this $1 million, if you convert it all to covered call ETFs, making 6-7%, you could start getting $60,000-$70,000 in your TFSA tax-free, which you could withdraw monthly to start investing or to start living off of, unless something catastrophic happens and we never recover, but hopefully we never get there. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions and tune in to the next one.